Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has claimed back-channel talks with senior Iranian official that has yielded major points of agreement. Now, Iran has denied any contact, calling it a trick to cool the markets and buy time. Now, Trump had given Iran a 48-hour ultimatum to reopen the Strait of Hormuz shipping lane, but hours before the deadline, Trump fired a Truth Social post extending it by 5 days and saying U.S. and Iran have held very good and productive conversations in recent days.
We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead. We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement. Perhaps that hasn't been conveyed. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces. They're unable to talk to each other. But we've had very strong talks. Mr. Witkoff and Mr. Kushner had them.
Iran was quick to deny Trump's claim. Sources cited in Iranian media said no direct or indirect talks were taking place. Trump blamed it on Iran's broken and battered communications.
They're going to have to get themselves better public relations people. We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead. We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement. Perhaps that hasn't been conveyed. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces. They're unable to talk to each other.
Reports also said that U.S. negotiators may meet an Iranian delegation for talks in Pakistan, with Vice President J.D. Vance possibly joining. White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt did not deny the reports. However, Iranian Foreign Ministry has denied any negotiations. It has said that friendly countries recently sent messages to Iran indicating U.S. desire to begin talks, but Iran has not responded. It also said Iran's stance on the Strait of Hormuz has not changed. Saeed Jalili, a member of Iran's Expediency Discernment Council and a former nuclear negotiator, claimed that Trump's comments represented a retreat. He said that Iran's power has brought the U.S. to the table of realities. Another senior Iranian official to deny Trump's claims is the country's parliament speaker, Mohammad-Bagher Ghalibaf. He said no negotiations have been held with the U.S., and he called Trump's assertions fake news meant to manipulate financial and oil markets. But interestingly, the U.S. media outlet Axios had identified Ghalibaf as the official who was talking to Trump's envoy, citing an unnamed Israeli official. Another report says Ghalibaf is being seen as a potential partner and even a future leader. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said he had spoken to Trump. He said Trump thinks a deal is possible, but vowed to continue striking Iran and Lebanon. All right, earlier we were joined by James A. Russell. He is an associate professor in the Department of National Security Affairs at the Naval Postgraduate School. Now, here's what he had to say on the evolving situation.
Frankly, again, based on the previous interactions between these antagonists, Iran is by far the more credible interlocutor, as much as it pains me to sort of say this. They were the ones who were seriously negotiating the last time around. They were prepared to make concessions. They were prepared to address the nuclear program. And the result of the war has been that the issues now on the table for discussion go far beyond the nuclear program. The Iranians need security guarantees that there's not going to be another eruption of hostilities in several months. The Iranians now want, as they should want, reparations from the Americans and the Israelis for all the destruction that they've wrought. There are all of these things now in play, which are, of course, much more complicated now that the war has been going on, as opposed to when the participants met in Muscat before the war started. So it's all become much more complicated, and I would also respectfully suggest that this is something that's not going to be resolved by Trump and his Zionist realtors, advisors, Kushner, and Witkoff, none of whom are experienced diplomats, professional diplomats. These complicated issues are going to take time to sort out. And I don't see any commitment on the part of the Trump administration or the expertise, frankly, in the Trump administration to try to bring something like this, a complicated series of issues, to any kind of successful closure, particularly not in the space of a couple of days.